Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very exciting Oceania Cruises webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Specialist here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. This webinar will run about 40 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Scott Klusner. Scott is Vice President of Strategic Accounts with Oceania Cruises, and he's been with the company for 8 years. His responsibilities include overseeing all national accounts, as well as a portfolio of top-producing North American agencies. Prior to joining Oceania Cruises, he worked for Classic Vacations as a Regional Director of Sales. And he started his career in travel with Intrav, which is a deluxe tour operator based in St. Louis, Missouri, which is where he's originally from. And probably the most important part of his intro, Scott wanted me to give a big shout out to the St. Louis Blues, who just won their first Stanley Cup title. And with that, take it away, Scott.
Great. Thanks, Anna. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Really appreciate it. As Anna mentioned, my name is Scott Klusner. I am on this webinar from the mothership in Miami, from our headquarters, which is where I'm based, and appreciate you taking time today to learn a little bit more about Oceania Cruises. So what I'd like to do today is share what makes Oceania so special, help you understand who you should match to the Oceania Cruises experience, and provide some ideas of a partnership, what a partnership looks like that is a win-win for both of us. We are super passionate about travel, as all of you are, I'm sure, and we definitely want to partner with you to create those lifelong memories for our mutual clients. First, though, we want to share with you a little bit about our why we at Oceania do what we do day in and day out. So we believe that travel enriches people's lives. So everything we do is to ensure we continually seek to provide our guests a phenomenal cruise vacation experience. So that's really why we do what we do, because we feel so passionately about travel and the benefits of travel, and that it does truly enrich people's lives. So the word that you see on there on the screen is Kaizen. It's a philosophy and a thought process. It's actually a Japanese business term, and it's a thought process that really is ingrained in our DNA, and it's a commitment to gradual but constant improvement. So we never rest on our past achievements, and we really do push ourselves each and every day to be better than we were yesterday. At Oceania, we opened our doors back in 2003, so it's been 16 years since we opened our doors. And one of the foundations of our success is obviously our pillars, our brand pillars, which I'll share with you in a little bit. But another thing that's made us successful is that we've never tried to be all things to all people. So we created our own niche in the industry, and that niche was to really focus on a growing market of travelers, primarily baby boomers who are coming of cruise age, who are looking for a different cruise vacation experience, something more experiential or travel on their own terms. So we really built a product that was designed to bring this segment of the population, their world, their way. So you'll see our tagline sometimes, your world, your way. So I know we have a lot of different advisors on the call today, and some of you have possibly sold us, some of you may not have sold us, but for those of you who are not regular sellers of Oceania Cruises, this really is a great slide for you. This shows where we are positioned in the industry. So back in 2003, there were really 3 big segments in the industry: contemporary, premium, and luxury. And our founders, Frank Del Rio, Bob Binder, and Joe Waters, knew that the baby boomers were coming of cruise age, and that the baby boomers, traveled differently from their parents, and they wanted a different travel experience, an experience that was more immersive, more experiential, and one that really wasn't currently offered in those 3 segments back at that time. So we wedged ourselves in between premium and luxury and created our own niche, upper premium. So that's really a stepping stone from premium to luxury. So we're more inclusive than the premium lines, but we do offer a lot of what the luxury cruise lines offer, but not at the luxury price point. So we can certainly match the needs of a luxury guest, but we're not all inclusive or an all suite product like our sister Regent. So a lot of agents and agencies, often tell us that we're their luxury product because they don't really have upper premium designation within their agency or within the marketing that they do. But we always say it's best to position us in our upper premium niche, and that way your clients' expectations will be better aligned with our category, and we're more likely to exceed their expectations. So our clients, they are well-traveled, they are mature, affluent. Average age is 65, so they're nearly retired or retired. Mainly couples, primarily, again, baby boomers that range in age from 54 to 72 years of age. Those are the ones that have the time and the money. They belong to different types of clubs, yacht clubs, country clubs, food and wine clubs. They are interested in the culture, arts, architecture, as well as the culinary arts. They do enjoy traveling with like-minded individuals. They enjoy great food and wine, and their purchase decisions are primarily based upon quality and value, not price. A majority of Oceania's first-time guests have sailed with other cruise lines and are typically now looking for something more intimate, more immersive, a new destination that possibly they haven't been able to find anywhere else, and a vacation offering excellent service and cuisine. So I've shared a little bit about why we do what we do, our Kaizen philosophy, and who travels on Oceania. Now I want to talk about one of our biggest initiatives that really does exemplify how innovative we are and the entrepreneurial style we bring to the cruise industry. So Oceania Next. Many of you have probably seen Oceania Next. We continue to evolve and grow. In 2018, we launched a platform to help you and our guests recognize all the enhancements that we're making at Oceania. So you've probably seen it on emails and our website. So when you see Oceania Next, it signals that something new is happening. So it could be a consumer-facing enhancement or an advisor-facing enhancement. Just the other day, actually, we launched our new Travel Advisor Center, which is beautiful. And we really tailored it and built it based on advisor feedback. We had many focus groups come to our office to tell us what they liked and did not like about our current Travel Advisor Center, and they shared with us some great examples of other cruise lines that really have great advisor centers. So that would be an announcement that you would see under Oceania Next. Some others include the re-inspiration of our small ships, the updating of our owner suites on Marina and Riviera, again, the new advisor website, new ships that we announced earlier this year, etc. So all of those would fall under the Oceania Next platform. So our brand pillars. Again, this is something that we have stayed true to since we started back in 2003. And I think that consistency really has been key to our success. Again, we haven't tried to be all things to all people. We really focus on that mature, affluent couple. That's been our target audience since we started and remains our target audience. So I'll spend a little bit of time on each of the pillars, just so, again, you get a better understanding of what makes us special and unique. We're not going to go into a whole lot of detail, just kind of the highlights. So if you're not as familiar with Oceania Cruises, I certainly encourage you to take our Sales Specialist Academy course, or reach out to me and we can get you a dedicated training session as well. So our first brand pillar, intimate and luxurious ships. We have 6 beautiful ships, all carrying less than 1,250 guests. So it's kind of a unique spot in the industry. While so many lines are building larger and larger ships, we feel we have the best of all worlds. Mid-sized ships that are intimate, but that are large enough to offer a good amount of onboard, or to have a good amount of onboard offerings. And in this age of mega ships, that can carry up to 5,000 to 6,000 people, it's a much more intimate experience, higher level of friendly, genuine, personalized onboard service. Your guests, our mutual guests, are recognized as individuals with us. They're not just a number. They're not just one in a crowd of thousands. And our interactions with them are more personal, and in contrast to what you'd experience on a ship with 3,000 to 5,000 people. Obviously, on more intimate-sized ships, you also have, I should say you really don't have any lines. There's really no waiting. It's really easy to get on and get off. But more importantly, with the intimate size ships, you're able to access places where the larger ships cannot go. We have Regatta sailing in Alaska, and it's 684 guests. She's one of the smallest ships sailing in Alaska, which is a huge plus to really taking in the destination. So we have two different classes. We have the Regatta Class, which are 684 guests, and these include Regatta, Insignia, Nautica, and Serena. And at just under 700 guests, these are a great size. Our past guests just love the size of these ships. It's easy to get around. You get to know the ship within a half day. And it has a warm residential feeling on board. And our guests really love that intimate size and just feeling like they are a family on board and traveling with like-minded guests and really getting to know our staff. So these ships, we are making a huge investment. We are the re-inspiration of classic elegance. So they are all being renovated and they will be completely transformed. So here's a quick look at what we're investing in the renovation of all four of these ships. Over $100 million, and they will be completely transformed. So two of them are already complete, Insignia and Serena. Regatta will be complete in September, towards the end of September, and then Nautica will be the last one, and that'll be in June of 2020. But a complete renovation, stem to stern, keel to funnel, all new suites and staterooms, more contemporary, lighter, brighter, more up-to-date, very similar in terms of the color palette and patterns as Marina and Riviera, our newer ships. But in the suites and staterooms, you know, down to the studs, new bathrooms, new closets, sofas, lighting, mirrors. We're adding USB ports. We're also adding a state-of-the-art interactive television system. So we're super excited. And I'll share a few photos with you of what the newly re-inspired Insignia looks like. This is the grand staircase with the tree of life at the top. Another view, another angle, also showing the beautiful chandelier. This is the Martinis Lounge, great place to get together before dinner or after dinner, have drinks. Beautiful grand dining room with a really stunning new hand-blown Italian crystal chandelier that is definitely the centerpiece of the grand dining room. This is our penthouse suite, which is around 322 square feet on the smaller ships. So softer color palettes, some neutral colors, earth tones, some seafoam greens. We kind of kept the pattern to a minimum. We moved the TV, the new interactive TV to the wall. All the furniture is made in Italy, so it just opens it up and it gives it a much lighter and brighter and open feel. So we're super excited about that. That came out, that announcement was our first Oceania Next announcement and was announced in August of 2018. So as I mentioned, Insignia is complete, Serena is complete, and Regatta, her first sailing after her dry dock will be September 24th, and then Nautica in June of 2020. So that is the Regatta class. Now we have the Oceania class, Marina and Riviera. They are a little larger, 1,250 guests. That means they have larger staterooms. We have a few more restaurants, and including Jacques and Red Ginger. We have a culinary center on board. We have a 24-seat restaurant, La Reserve by Wine Spectator. Still an intimate feeling. And they also have that similar residential feel to them. And, you know, we're really designed to give travelers sort of a sense of home and place. So when we speak of residential, it also goes to the level of the artwork that you see here. The artwork on board does include works by Picasso, Monet, Miro, and it was personally curated by Bob Binder and Frank Del Rio. And actually has become so popular aboard Marina and Riviera that we created a self-guided audio art tour as well as a beautiful art book. We have a beautiful pool area. This is again on Marina and Riviera. Horizons, our lounge, wonderful gathering place, great views, great place to read a book, enjoy an authentic English high tea at 4 p.m. every day, happy hour, dancing in the evening. And then, as I mentioned, another Oceania Next announcement, and again, our commitment to Kaizen, continuously improving not just our product, but how we work with all of you as well. The updating or the re-inspiration of the owner suites aboard Marina and Riviera. So they're completely being completely redone in Ralph Lauren Home. Actually, Riviera was just completed. We've also expanded Baristas, our coffee bar, which is definitely a favorite spot on board, and some other soft good changes for Riviera and Marina. So let's chat briefly about what your guests are able to do on board Oceania. So first, wellness. We are staying current with when it comes to the health enthusiast as it relates to wellness, and we are offering our guests culinary options from the Canyon Ranch spa menu. We have a vegan juice bar aboard Riviera Marina, and we also just refreshed our vegan menu, and now we have over 250 gourmet vegan dishes on all 6 of our ships. Recently, we also included all of our group activities such as Pilates and yoga. We have added more options to our Canyon Ranch inspired health and wellness shore excursions. So that's taking some of the wellness activities in destinations. So we have sunset yoga by the sea in the Canary Islands, thermal baths of the Popes, yoga on the terrace of Taormina. So really connecting the guests to the destination in a unique way. So we were one of the first cruise lines to offer a hands-on culinary school at sea, where guests actually prepare, some regional favorites alongside a guest chef that is leading the class. So you see the bottom photo there. There's each guest has a station. It's 2 to a station. There's 12 stations, so that can accommodate 24 people. Last year, I was on board with my wife and kids aboard Riviera. I did a 10-night sailing from Lisbon to Rome, and I signed up for our essential pasta class, which was lots of fun. So we prepared 3 recipes. And the best thing was that I didn't have to do any chopping. It was all ready and waiting for me at my station. So those are a lot of fun. They're 90 minutes. They're about $69 per person. But for people that have an Epicurean interest, it's a lot of fun on our sea days. We also have an artist loft. We do have an artist in residence on every one of our cruises, where you can learn painting, sketching, watercolors, to name a few. We also have guest lectures on board that provide very informative details about the area where we're visiting, the history, the culture, and we also have quite a few bridge cruises that feature bridge masters on select sailings. And last but not least, our fleet is expanding. So we will have 2 new ships coming out in 2022, 2025. I know it sounds like a long way away, but we know that it'll be here before we know it. Each ship will accommodate approximately 1,200 guests. There'll be 67,000 tons. So very similar in size to Marina and Riviera, which are currently 1,250 guests. So we will obviously incorporate the latest in terms of what our guests expect in a new class of ship. We'll have a better space ratio. We'll have the opportunity for larger accommodations, new restaurant concepts. So we're super excited about this. We don't have a lot of details to share at this point, but we know, again, that 2022 and 2025 will be here before we know it. So our last brand pillar, and actually our most important brand pillar, the finest cuisine at sea, and this is really what we hang our hat on. So cuisine has always been at the center of travel, and as travelers, we all connect with destinations and learn about their cultures through their cuisine and their culinary traditions, and we really pride ourselves on supporting that connection. So again, the hallmark of our brand is the culinary experience. It's been the hallmark of our brand since day one, since Jacques Pepin, who is our executive culinary director. He has been with us since day one. We are known to spend more per person per day than most other cruise lines on the culinary experience, and we really focus that investment on 3 key areas. So first, curating the best culinary teams. So we source from some of the best restaurants on land, some of the top hotels like Four Seasons, Relais and Chateau, and all of these very talented individuals are led by our executive culinary director, Jacques Pepin, who has really been the inspiration for us since we opened our doors back in 2003. The other area where we invest significantly is in the finest ingredients. So we source our flour from the Planchot flour mill in the south of France. Our lobster supplier is a father-son supplier in Nova Scotia. We have dry-aged certified Black Angus USDA prime beef, New Zealand lamb, fine French butter. So we also have fresh sustainable fish program in countless ports around the world. And Jacques' philosophy really is all about the highest quality ingredients prepared sort of in a simple manner. And then finally, the third place where we invest significantly is the Michelin star quality kitchen and the galleys. So we know the flavor is important, the taste, but we also have some really incredible creative presentations, as you can see a little bit on the screen there, unique dishes, great variety, and the ambiance in every one of our restaurants is pretty amazing. So I'm just going to quickly go through some of those slides so you can see some of our restaurants. This is the grand dining room. By the way, we do feature all open seating dining, so you can dine with whom you want, when you want, and there's absolutely no surcharge also for our specialty dining. That is included in the fare, in the cruise fare. So this is the grand dining room, shot of the grand dining room here, sort of modeled after kind of a European 5-star hotel restaurant. Red Ginger, one of our favorite restaurants, specialty restaurants, Asian fusion cuisine aboard Marina and Riviera, and one of our guest favorites by far, which we didn't expect initially when we first built this aboard Marina and Riviera, but they love the miso glazed sea bass, which is a crowd pleaser. Jacques, his only restaurant at sea, decorated with some of his art. He's quite an artist actually, and it's modeled after a Parisian bistro, so typical Parisian bistro dishes that you can find here. Our Italian restaurant, authentic Italian. Many of the recipes originate from our own Italian culinary team on board. Polo Grill, classic steakhouse. Again, the USDA Black Angus prime beef, great seafood options as well. And finally, La Reserve by Wine Spectator. This is the 24-seat restaurant that I was mentioning earlier that offers wine pairing dinners several evenings during the cruise with 3 different menus. And La Reserve does not lend its name to any other restaurant at land or at sea. So this is definitely a unique partnership that you can't find anywhere else, and it really is a unique experience. So this is a 7-course wine pairing dinner, and we've got 3 exceptional menus as well. Recently, under Oceania Next, we also announced a new partnership with Dom Perignon. So for those of you who enjoy champagne, this is the ultimate experience in La Reserve. So this is a champagne pairing dinner. This took us about 2 years. It was about 2 years in the making. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind experience, especially for champagne lovers. So it's a champagne pairing dinner, 6 courses, incredible scallops, blue lobster, black truffle risotto, Wagyu beef. It's just an amazing, incredible experience. It does come at a cost, but it's exclusive, unique, it's one of a kind. And Dom Perignon is super protective of their brand. And again, it did take us about 2 years for this to come about, but we are super excited by this partnership. And it really is an amazing experience at La Reserve aboard Riviera and Marina. So in that same space, sort of another recent Kaizen announcement was the addition of the wine bar at La Reserve. So the nights that the La Reserve is not open for dinner, we open it as a wine bar from like 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. We serve tapas, small plates from the areas that we're visiting. We also have wine flights. There is a charge, but it's really just for the wine. It's a great space, and people really enjoy that added element of wine tasting and tapas at La Reserve. So we've talked about the onboard experience, and I'd like to transition to what we know is definitely the #1 driver for clients' decisions to buy a cruise, especially if they're new to brand, and that is the destination. So people travel to experience a destination, either to travel to a place that they haven't been to, or possibly, go back to a place that they really, really enjoy. So we want to connect them to the destination in a meaningful way. So as destination specialists, how do we do that? First, we create itineraries that are a unique blend of smaller, more boutique ports of call, and we combine those with some of the larger, more iconic ports of call, sort of those must-see cities. Second, we are port intensive. I sailed, as I mentioned earlier, on the Riviera Pass this last summer, summer of 2018 with my wife and kids, and it was a 10-night sailing from Lisbon to Rome, and every day was in port. I actually wanted a sea day or two, but we are port intensive. Now that's a bit of an extreme example, but we do tend to be more port intensive as a cruise line. And third, we spend more time in port and we offer overnights in more ports as well. So we offer at least one overnight on each of our cruises. And on my cruise, there were actually a number of ports where we didn't depart until 8 p.m. And in Saint-Tropez and Monte Carlo, we actually stayed until 11 p.m. and midnight. So that additional time gave us and other travelers on board the opportunity to sample some of the local flavors. So where do we go? Our reach is truly global. You'll find our ships all over the world. So we have 7, 10, 12, 14-night cruises, and even longer grand voyages from 21 days up to 74 days that feature destination-rich, immersive itineraries. So in the summer, for example, we are in the Med, we are in Northern Europe and the Baltic, and in Alaska. And in the fall, in the fall and the spring, we typically transition to our summer or winter destinations. And in the winter, we're in the Caribbean, we are in Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, South America, and the South Pacific. We have a large variety of shore excursions on board, focused on culture, history, adventure, and cuisine. And we really do have something for just about every taste. So it's not only where you go, but what you do when you get there. So I mentioned we have a variety of shore excursions, again, for just about every taste. And in addition to that, we also offer pre-post stays, and we also have mint cruise options as well. And we're doing a little bit better job of calling those out on our website and in our brochures. So as I mentioned, we're in the Mediterranean in the summer. We have, Lisbon to Rome, round trip Barcelona to Rome, Venice to Venice, 7, 12, 10, 14-night sailings. Also in the summer, we're in the Baltic and Northern Europe. So we have Stockholm to Copenhagen itineraries, Copenhagen to Oslo, Oslo to London, round trip London featuring the British Isles. Alaska, I sailed with my wife and kids to Alaska back in 2014. It was an amazing experience. It's just absolutely stunning. We offer 7, 10, 11-night Alaska sailings, either round trip Seattle or Seattle, Vancouver next year, and Vancouver to Seward. So a wonderful, wonderful experience. And again, it's on the Regatta, which is just 684 guests. We also feature the Caribbean during the wintertime, round trip Miami sailings, 10-night sailings. We have Eastern Caribbean itineraries that go to St. Martin, Antigua, St. Lucia, St. Bart's, and then we have Western Caribbean sailings as well, going to Honduras, Guatemala, and Belize. We also go to South America, as I mentioned. These are a little bit longer sailings, 12, 14 nights, 18 nights, up to 20 nights. Rio to Buenos Aires, round trips, Buenos Aires to Lima, and then our exotics. So some of these are, the Nautica will be in the Mediterranean and Northern Europe during the summertime, and then she'll sail through the Suez Canal, go to Dubai, and then go down Dubai to Cape Town, and then we'll have round trip Cape Town sailings, and then she'll make her way from Cape Town over to Singapore, and then stay the winter in Southeast Asia doing a series of Singapore, Hong Kong sailings, Hong Kong, Tokyo, and then round trip Tokyo sailings, which are super popular. 10 nights, pretty much sold out for 2020, and looking very strong for 2021. So if your guests can't decide where to go, you can just send them around the world with us, 180 days. This is a true circumnavigation of the globe. We offer 2020, we're pretty much sold out, but 2021, we still have space. We have a January 9th departure around the world, starting in Miami, going to New York. It's 180 days, or guests can embark in Los Angeles and end in New York City, which is 164 days. So, of course, you're pretty much seeing everything, starting off going to French Polynesia, Hawaii first, French Polynesia, New Zealand, Australia, Taiwan, Japan, China, Vietnam, Thailand, going to Europe, Iceland, Greenland, Nova Scotia, and then either ending back in New York City. So we jokingly say that the around the world is our least expensive sailing on a per diem basis. Rates start as low as $39.99, so $39,000 for an inside cabin, but it includes free prepaid gratuities, free onboard medical care, free unlimited internet, laundry, some exclusive shoreside events, all visas, free luggage delivery, and a one-night pre-cruise luxury hotel stay, plus round-trip transfers. So it's actually more expensive to stay at home. And then we also have our O-Life Choice promotion, where guests can select, this is per cabin, either 70 shore excursions, a beverage package, or a $7,200 shipboard credit. So now you can see why we say it's one of our least expensive sailings on a per diem basis. So that segues into value. So no matter how extraordinary our ships are, the cuisine, the destinations, we know that we have to deliver value. Even the most wealthy clients want value. So, they want to feel as if they got more than what they paid for, and we hope we are able to deliver that for them. So we have great embedded value in our cruise fares. So in our cruise fares on our website, those fares include airfare from 26 major North American gateways. They also include internet, so internet is free on all of our ships in all categories. We also include free shuttle service from many ports of call to the city center. Free specialty restaurants. We feel strongly that our dining experience, given the fact that delivering the finest cuisine at sea is the hallmark of our brand, we feel strongly that everybody should experience our gourmet specialty restaurants, and we want everybody to take advantage of that and enjoy themselves. So we do not charge extra for our specialty restaurants. We also understand that no one likes to be nickeled and dimed, so we include all bottled water, specialty coffees and teas, as well as soft drinks. Now, I say bottled water, we are actually transitioning to Vero water, which is a very high-end water filtration system. And that by doing that, that will allow us to save or eliminate 3 million plastic bottles of water annually. So we're pretty excited about that. We also offer free 24-hour room service, and last fall, we announced free laundry for concierge staterooms and above. So in addition to our embedded value that I just referenced, we offer O-Life Choice on every cruise in every category. And again, this gives upscale travelers that flexibility and personalization, and they're able to choose, what is most important to them. So the O-Life Choice promotion offers guests a choice between a complimentary beverage package, which is beer and wine with lunch and dinner, shore excursions, or a shipboard credit. And the number of shore excursions, as you can see on the screen there, or the shipboard credit, the amount varies depending upon the length of the sailing. So a 14-day sailing, they can receive up to 8 free shore excursions per stateroom or an $800 shipboard credit per stateroom. So really fantastic value. And, I always recommend to quantify when you're talking with a guest that maybe hasn't sailed with us before and possibly their experiences on premium lines, to really quantify the value of all of our inclusions, because they really do add up to quite a bit. So I know I've shared a lot of information with you. So now how do we put it all together and build our business together? So we know that obviously you have to be confident to sell Oceania Cruises. And we're here to give you the training and support. As I mentioned, it would be a great idea if you haven't taken our Sales Specialist Academy course yet to do that. But you need to obviously understand your clients, know your clients. Do you have clients that fit the Oceania guest profile? What is their travel horizon? Our booking window is pretty far out. Generally speaking, people are booking our exotics at least a year out. They're booking Europe 8 to 9 months out, and then they're booking the close to home sailings probably 6 months out. But our average booking is around 240 days prior to departure. So we would love to partner together. And we also recommend, that you recommend new experiences to your clients. So, be one step ahead of them by not only offering new experiences and destinations, but also new brands. So we would love to, create an actionable plan together. Again, we have a great sales specialist academy. It's 8 chapters that covers in more detail a number of the things that I've talked about today. So ships and facilities, service, cuisine, destination itineraries, understanding our customer, understanding our value proposition, partner benefits, our group program. We would love to work with you on groups. And we also have an advanced module in marketing as well. So where do we source most of our guests from? Really the best opportunity for success with Oceania Cruises, kind of the low-hanging fruit, the low-hanging fruit is to look at your premium guests if you currently have premium guests in your database. So we're not necessarily here to, we're not necessarily asking you to shift share. We know clients are trying different things, so they're trying different land options, river, ocean, they're curious. And the key really is to know when they may be ready for something different. So we're here to help you understand when to recommend Oceania to a premium guest and when you should recommend Oceania Cruises to your luxury client. So we know that premium guests enjoy cruising, but at some point, they realize that they may want something more. And a luxury guest is typically content with the luxury lines that they're sailing on, but sometimes their cruise line that they typically sail on doesn't offer the itinerary that they're looking for, or it might not be at the time that they can travel. So, we can really fill the need of the premium guest as well as the luxury guest. So selling up. Again, this is where we feel we have the best opportunity for growth by recommending Oceania Cruises to some of your premium clients that are, again, ready possibly for something different and unique. So obviously, sharing with them the unique selling points that makes us special, how they would experience travel with Oceania Cruises through our destinations, our intimate size ships, the culinary experience, our great value proposition. All of this does appeal to both premium and luxury guests. And then again, recommending or introducing new experience and brands, new destinations, because we certainly know that people are curious and they are out there looking for different things. So as you all know, I'm sure, to be successful in sales, to be a top advisor, listening is a key skill. So asking lots of questions, probing, listening, and listening to those comments from your travelers. So when you hear some of these clues, possibly, it was a great cruise, but boy, it was just way too many people, or it took forever to get on and off the ship, or the lines were just way too long. Or, we had a fantastic cruise, but the food just wasn't that great, or the service did not meet my expectations. So, those clues might signal a need for a change, and it might be the perfect time to introduce Oceania Cruises. So listen to those cues. And remember the buying behavior typically of baby boomers. They are typically destination driven. They're looking for new immersive experiences, and they are inquisitive. They like to try new things, and they do want to see new destinations. So I'm about to wrap up, just FYI for everybody. So when we decide to work together, hopefully we will, we have lots of tools available for you. We want to be your collaborator in building a strong marketing plan, a customized marketing plan that will be based on your strengths, and a marketing plan that is comprehensive, including events, direct mail, email, groups, social media, whatever mix of these options and others works to really grow our business together. So in closing, we would love to partner with you. We would love to succeed together. And that might mean doing something a little differently, improving something a little bit every day, back to that Kaizen philosophy. So we encourage you to be bold, to take risks, and we would love for you to introduce Oceania to your qualified prospects, and let's grow our business together. So thank you very much for your time. Anna, I think I'm right at 40 minutes. And I'm certainly happy to answer any questions that there might be from the audience.
Perfect. We do have some questions. Our first one is from Dana, who is wondering how your wheelchair accessibility for power wheelchairs is, both on ships and on excursions.
On ship, we definitely have wheelchair handicap accessible cabins. So it's pretty good. The smaller ships, Regatta, Insignia, Nautica, and Serena, they have been outfitted. They were built around 15, 20 years ago. So the cabins are a little bit smaller on those, but we definitely have handicapped accessible cabins, staterooms on all of our ships. When it's on shore, they're on their own at that point. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but when they go on shore, typically they're on their own at that point.
Okay, perfect. Our next question is from Shannon, who is wondering if you have Mexican Riviera sailings.
When we have, when I mentioned the Western Caribbean sailings, we do drop down to, I believe, Cozumel, but it's typically part of an overall itinerary that includes Belize, Honduras, and Guatemala. So it would be more a port of call on a 10-night sailing, including those other countries that I just mentioned.
Got it. This next question is from Ali, who is wondering if you could explain the training course a little bit more.
Sure, it's our Sales Specialist Academy, and maybe I'll just, by the way, here's our new Travel Advisor Center. So if you go here to Travel Advisor Benefits, you can look at, also we have reduced rate opportunities, so you can go here and find our reduced rate opportunities. And there's sales tips and training. So this is an online training course. And sales tools and offers. I'm hoping that this gets me to where I need to be. I am actually just learning the new, here we go, the Oceania Difference, Selling the Experience or Extraordinary Value. So these are all different modules. And once you complete them, we also provide bonus commission certificates. By the way, this brochure that you see here is really a good one, Selling the Oceania Cruises Experience. So it talks to you about the O-Life difference, the Oceania Life difference, talking about our brand pillars, plus a little bit more information there on how we differentiate ourselves, the guest profile, exceptional value. You can find this online and you can order these brochures online. It gives you some selling tips as well. And we talk about our pillars of excellence, finance, cuisine at sea, etc. So if you go on here, you should find the Sales Specialist Academy, and I apologize. I am just navigating this for the first time since this was just launched the other day. You also see our sales team. So we have a team of regional sales and marketing directors in the field who are supported by a business development team based in Miami. Those business development managers also travel to the destination. But so the Sales Specialist Academy, as I mentioned, there's 7 or 8 different modules. They probably take anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes to complete. And once you complete the Sales Specialist Academy, we do provide you with a bonus commission certificate or bonus commission certificates that you can apply to new future bookings. And then we also provide you with a ship or credit or 2 that you can gift to your clients.
Okay, perfect. Our next question is from Shannon actually has a follow-up question. She is wondering about Western Mexico sailings.
So Baja Peninsula, Really, I believe that's, that area. So Acapulco, etc. Most of the time, that's going to be part of a longer Panama Canal sailing that might go from Los Angeles to Miami or Vancouver to Miami or San Francisco to Miami, but nothing necessarily dedicated. We do have a couple of round trip Los Angeles sailings that dip down to those areas, but that's really just probably 2, and that's typically in November or December. And by the way, here is the Oceania Cruises Sales Specialist Academy on the screen here. You can see the various courses, effective marketing Oceania Cruises 101, selling Oceania Cruises, etc.
All right. Our next question is from Wendy, who is an Oceania specialist, and she loves Oceania. She has 49 passengers on a September 2020 sailing. She is wondering if you may be updating the agent rate offers.
Well, first of all, Wendy, thank you so much for your business, and thank you for being an Oceania specialist. We really appreciate it. So in terms of the agent offers, we did just come out with a new list of reduced rate advisor sailings. So you should be able to find that on the website here. And typically we'll have, maybe 10 to 15 cruises that depart within the next, let's say 4 months. We are extending it out a little bit further. I need to get off this page that says I'm not authorized to be on it. You can find those online here as well, and but they generally range in price from $100 per person per day cruise only for an inside, $125 typically for a veranda, and $150 per person per day for a penthouse stateroom. So Woody, I hope that answered your question.
Perfect. This question is from Victoria, who is wondering if you could go over which ship the Dom Perignon is offered on and the price per person for the Dom Perignon.
Sure. So that is offered on Marina and Riviera. It's offered in the La Reserve restaurant, which is the 24-seat wine pairing restaurant aboard Marina and Riviera only. And that price point is $295 per person. And that really, to be honest with you, just covers the pours of the champagne themselves. I believe there's 3 different vintages of Dom Perignon that are served. So it's $295 per person, and that's actually before gratuity.
Okay, perfect. This next question is from Ali, who is wondering if there's a status match program with other luxury cruise lines.
We don't offer a status match program currently, so that's not something that we currently offer. Something that we've talked about, but certainly currently that is not something that we offer.
Okay. Shannon is wondering if airfare is not offered from your gateway, is an airfare credit applied?
We do have airfare credits, yes. So it depends. The amount depends upon the destination. So typically, our exotics, the long-haul destinations will have a higher airfare credit than our Caribbean sailings. But yes, there is an airfare credit if guests choose to, book airfare on their own or use miles, etc.
Okay, perfect. And it looks like that was our last question. So thank you so much, Scott, for all of the information. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I do just want to remind everyone this is recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your day.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.